Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another weekly reading vlog. I hope you all are doing very well. This week, I needed a win. If you watched last week's reading vlog, I ended it with a very disappointing 1.5-star read, and so I wanted to not get myself too slumpy and read books that I think I am going to love. Not that I didn't think I was going to love the 1.5 star, but sometimes books surprise you. So, I have picked out 3 5-star predictions across multiple genres, and I'm really hoping that I have some huge wins in this video. So first off, I would love to read Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult and Jennifer Finley Boylan. I've never heard somebody talk about this book in a negative way, which just feels like it'll be fun. This is also a book about a mother-son relationship, and his son is being accused of murdering his high school girlfriend. So mystery. This just seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. Just heard excellent things about the writing, about the mystery, and it just being a really engaging read. So this is probably where I'm going to start this week. Then I am going to be reading Raising Hair by Chloe Dalton. This was on the Women's Prize for Nonfiction, which I've given all of the books I've read for that prize 5 stars. And Why Fish Don't Exist by Lulu Miller is one of my new all-time favorite books, which I found through that list. So Raising Hair is a book about a woman who takes care of a rabbit during the COVID pandemic, which just seems like me in a book. I'm really, really excited about this. And finally, we have Nesting by Rosen O'Donnell. This was on the Women's Prize for Fiction long list. I don't think it made the short list, but I've heard nothing but roaring reviews of this. People absolutely loving it. And I am not remembering exactly what this is about, but I think it follows an abusive relationship with a woman who has children, I believe. But I've heard that the writing is just stunning and people have just really, really been loving this. So apart from the fact that I think I'm going to like all these, I really like how color-coded they are. They seem very springy. So I'm just very excited to get into these ones and hopefully find some new 5-star reads. Other than reading plans, this week is going to be quite busy. I am working most of the days of the week, 12-hour shifts, so it'll be quite a busy week, but we should be having some beautiful spring weather, and it should just be a lovely, lovely time. No other big plans on the docket, although today Tyler and I might be going to get brunch with a few friends and then also going out for dinner. So a very meal heavy day. And also my car is getting detailed currently. I am watching the man do it in my driveway and he is just like meticulous. So I'm really excited to see the result of this car detailing. But yeah, should be a pretty chilled out week, focusing on the reading and focusing on finding a new favorite book. So it is Monday. My hair looks like a disaster and I am like burning up because my ring light is in my face and I just filmed a very long April wrap up. But anyways, I wanted to give you guys a brief update on where I'm at with my reads this week. First off, I had a lovely day at work today. It was very relaxed and I got to read a little bit, chat with my coworkers. It was just one of those days where I didn't feel that like intense stress all the time, which was really lovely. I also have a heartwarming little story that one of my coworkers told me. She is an OBGYN. And she told me that she knits hats at home in her free time, and every baby that she delivers, she gives one of her knitted hats. So she like puts it on their head. I mean, of course, with the parents' consent, and so the parents can have that forever, remembering like their experience. And I just thought that was so lovely. Like maybe I need to figure out what I can give my patients to I don't know, like make the experience memorable and show how much it means to me that I am getting to take care of their child. I don't know, but that just like really resonated with me. So that was my highlight of the day. I did also get to read a bit of Mad Honey. So I'm currently on page 120, although this is a chunker, so I still have quite a bit to read. So far, really, 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 really enjoying this. Dare I say, I'm not going to even think or say what I think I'm going to rate this book because we have been burned before. But the beginning of this has been really excellent. This is a multi-perspective book. Part of the story you're following the mother, Olivia, and then the other part you're following Lily, who is the girlfriend who is ultimately going to be killed. And you know that it's on the back of the book that she's going to be murdered. And you also kind of get Asher's story too. Asher is Lily's high school boyfriend who is accused of murdering her. Of course, you have this kind of mystery, like what happened to Lily? Did Asher do it? Of course, Olivia, the mom, wants to believe that Asher had nothing to do with it, but she's biased as she has grown up with Asher and loved him and seen him throughout his whole life. So you're seeing the story at different points in time from different people, and it really lets you kind of piece together what you think happened. I think the writing is really excellent. I read a Jodi Picoult a while ago, and so I want to say that Jodi Picoult writes half of the chapters and Jennifer Finley Boylan writes the other half. And I can't quite tell which is which, but the styles feel very slightly different, but not in like a jarring way. Um, the reason why this is called Mad Honey is because Olivia, the mother, is a honey beekeeper. And so throughout the book, there's a lot of discussion about kind of Olivia and Asher taking care of these bees, rearing them, the queen bee, lots of symbolism, which I'm really enjoying. So I don't have any other like profound thoughts at this point, but I am really gripped by this. I'm really enjoying the exploration of the mother-son relationship at this really difficult time, as well as the Lily Asher love story that you're getting flashbacks of and kind of how they met and all of the things, and really piecing together who you think did it. I think there will be enough breadcrumbs, hopefully, in this one for me to have a chance to figure it out. And I always love that in a mystery as well. So far, this has really impressed me. I don't know what I'm going to rate it, but hopefully it will be up there. Anyways, I'm starving. So I'm going to go eat some pizza, edit, and read a little bit before I head to bed as I have another long day of work tomorrow. So before I get into my reading update, I have been binge watching the new season of Love on the Spectrum, which I absolutely love. Oh, hello, Clarence. um, it's a show about people on the autism spectrum finding love, and it's just the most wholesome, wonderful show. It's such a good feel-good show. So I've been watching that, and the boys meaning my cats, were snuggling on my lap and didn't want to get up. And so I'm filming this clip a lot later than I want to, but that's fine. I got to watch a bit more of Love on the Spectrum, which was lovely. But anyways, rambling. Last couple days have been just busy days at work, but have been getting a little bit of time to read, which is lovely. And I've actually finished one book and am making my way through a second book. One other update is Tyler and I, unfortunately, had a what we think is either a squirrel or a bunny get in our lettuce garden and just like go and make a bunch of holes and eat a bunch of things. And I can't be mad if it's a bunny because of the book that I am reading, but we're a little upset. So we're trying to troubleshoot a plan for that. But currently we're having a little bit of a garden hiccup. The seedlings are doing fine. Everything else is doing fine. The strawberries are doing fine. But we got to figure out how to prevent our lettuces from getting massacred right when they are about to be harvested. Anyways, so updates. I ended up finishing Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult. Let me take my bookmark out. And I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed this. I think going into this thinking that it's going to be a really fast-paced mystery thriller is probably not the right mindset. What it is a exploration of this relationship between Asher and Lily, a high school relationship, so following a lot of the common common tropes of a high school relationship, but I think really done well here. I think their connection, their love is just done in a good way. And a lot of the complexities and a lot of the issues too, which I don't want to spoil or bring up, but it's more complex and more deep than it kind of seems on the outset. And the mystery, of course, is that Lily gets murdered, which is on the back. And through a lot of it, you're trying to figure out who you think did it. And Asher is on trial. So through a lot of this book, you are basically in the courts as people are presenting evidence. And a lot of the kind of plot twists come that way. But I would not say that this is super, super twisty turny. There are some surprising parts to it, some parts where we change course from where I thought we would be, or we learn things about characters that we didn't know. But is it like one of those edge of your seat thrillers? I would not say so. So, just in terms of expectations going into it, that's something to know and to think about. There were a lot of descriptions of honey because Asher's mother, of course, is a beekeeper. And I think I was supposed to be getting more metaphors from those bits than I was because they were kind of spaced out throughout the book. And usually at parts where other interesting things were happening, I kind of skimmed through them. And I think maybe there was a little bit more in there that if I was paying attention, I could have gotten a little more out of. There's a lot in here about nature versus nurture, the people that care for us, taking after like our parents, good and bad. Are people their own selves or are they just replicas of their parents? Lots of that kind of trope in here, which was really, really interesting to read about. I thought the writing was stunning. I want to say that Lily's chapters were written by Jennifer Finley or Finney Boyland and and Jodi Picoult wrote Olivia's chapters, I think. But they also like edited each other's chapters, and I think each wrote one of the other parts, like other chapters of the book. So definitely like you couldn't tell so much like the difference between them. It really flowed together really seamlessly. I really enjoyed this. It was not quite a 5 star. I think there were parts of it that got a little bit lengthy that could have been cut out. I think I was hoping for a bit more I don't know. There's just something that was a little bit missing for this to be a 5 star read, but I really, really did enjoy it, and I would highly recommend it. It was a really excellent read, 4 stars. Next up, I have picked up Raising Hair. So I think I lost my bookmark of this one. I'm about halfway through this. I'm listening to the audiobook in addition to reading the physical book. And this is about a woman who has a very kind of high profile, high stress life in London. And she also has a property out in the country. And she's spending some time there. And one day when she's going on a walk, she sees a little hare, a baby, who seems to be separated from its mother. And at first she's like, I'm just going to leave it alone because I don't want to put my scent on it and I don't want it to never find its mother again, et cetera, et cetera. But then she comes back and it's still there and it's still scared. And so she takes it in, and it's kind of about her accidentally domesticating it, because she wants to give it enough food and raise it so that she can eventually let it out and go into the wild. But they start to bond and form a relationship. And this is like the most heartwarming book ever. Like the descriptions of the little hare, like drinking milk from this bottle and her making a pen so that it feels comfortable, but then realizing it wants to run and jump. And so, like modifying her situation so that the hare can be more happy. And like all of these just very heartwarming descriptions are really doing it for me. Also, the beginning of every chapter has a little drawing of the hare as it gets older, which I didn't know I needed this, but I do. I did. I did need it. So, anyways, there's not a whole lot of plot that, beyond this adorable little hare growing up and the relationship between these two beings, a human and a hare. And I can't tell if that's going to bother me or maybe I'm just going to like it for the vibes. I don't know. But so far, it warms my heart and I'm definitely enjoying that part of it. So hopefully we'll finish this tomorrow and then should be in good shape to start nesting for the weekend, nesting the book, not nesting the activity, so that I will be able to finish all the books in time for the end of this vlog, which 3 books in 1 week. Didn't think that would happen, but I'm very, very happy about it. So it is very late because I watched way more TV than I was supposed to, snuggle with the cats way longer than I was supposed to. But I am going to head to bed, one more busy day of work, and then, hello, Gilbert, and then the weekend off. All right, so it is currently Saturday evening. I am popping in for a quick reading update. It is again very late. I keep doing these reading updates like just before I go to bed, so I'm a little tired. But today was kind of a chill, sit on the couch type of day. Tyler was post nights, meaning that he went to bed at around like 8 in the morning. And so while I was in the house, I was just being quiet and reading to not wake him up. I did pop out to the pool, which was lovely. I always feel like that clears my mind and is just overall so great for me. So I did that, and we ordered some like fancy delivery before he had to go back to work today, which was really nice to enjoy that. And we watched an episode of Top Chef, and it's just been raining all day today, so it's been quite quite the vibe. Given that it has been kind of a quiet day all around, I have got to do quite a bit of reading. So starting out with Raising Hare. So I'm currently on like chapter 10, I think. I have about 2 hours left of the audiobook, and I don't have too many more thoughts about this one other than what I said before, it being a very sweet and heartwarming story, but there not being a lot of plot running through it. And so at times I'm a little bit bored. I think something would have to happen or change or evolve for me to give this book 5 stars, but I'm planning to finish it tomorrow, probably on audiobook as I'm doing my little Sunday clean up the house. Then I did make my way through quite a bit of nesting on the couch today, and I'm on page 200 out of like getting on for 400, so just over the halfway point. And so far, really, really enjoying this. So, this is about a woman living in Ireland. She's in a relationship with her husband, and they've been married for 5 years. They have two young children, and her husband is extremely emotionally abusive, very controlling, uses the children to control her. You get a sense from the way that this book is set out that she is living in fear and really being worried that every action that she takes could mean some horrible consequence for either her or her children. And so I think one thing that's done in here that's really excellent is that her children don't quite understand the full picture, I guess, of the emotional abuse. And so she essentially decides to leave her husband at the beginning of the book, and it uproots a lot for her children because they're used to living in the same house, living with two parents. But she does it because she's trying to do the safest thing for them and for herself. And it's hard because I don't think her kids truly understand the reason for her actions. And so she has a lot of guilt around that, uprooting something and not, hello, Gilbert, and not having an end game and not being able to have a great place for them to stay. And so, while this is definitely a domestic abuse story, it also brings in that whole element of trying to um, have young children and keep them safe in situations like this. Really enjoying the writing of this one. It is a very quick read. I finished about 200 pages um, in a couple sittings today. And I think the reason why it's so quick is because the story is very propulsive. Like there's always something changing. You never know what the husband's going to do, what she's going to do. Definitely extremely readable. I'm hoping to finish this one up tomorrow. Is it a 5 star? I don't know. I don't know. It has the potential. I think it could be. Is it right now? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So I'll finish this one up tomorrow and then, of course, also finish Raising Hair Up. And I will let you know what I end up rating those to if any of the books in this video end up being 5 stars. Cats are like tussling. Whenever it gets to this hour of the night, it's about 11 o'clock. It's the witching hour, and they like to just run circles around everything and chase each other up the stairs, just cause mayhem. So I'm surprised they haven't knocked the tripod over, to be honest. But anyways, I'm rambling. I'm going to head to bed. I will see you guys in the morning. The curls are back for a limited time only. Get them while they last. No, I just didn't feel like blowing out my hair today. So you guys get my natural hair today for the final clip of this vlog, where I'm really excited to tell you that one book was a 5 star. So let's get into it. Oh, first off, before we get into my reads, I did take a little trip to Barnes and Noble today, which was not part of the plan, but it was next to the Sephora and I had to go to the Sephora to pick up a couple things. And so we all know how that goes. I got a little drink from the Starbucks and walked around, and here we are. But I narrowed myself down to one book. I had 7 books, narrowed it down to one that is going to come home with me. Well, that did come home with me. So let me show you what it was. So the book that I could not resist is Stagnance by Torrey Peters. This is a new literary fiction release that everybody is giving rave reviews of, and it's blurbed by Miranda July, one of my favorite people. So I just needed to pick it up. Also, Brit Bennett blurbed it on the back. We all know how I feel about Brit Bennett. So yeah, this just seems like it's going to be a win for me. I'm a little bit perplexed. I think it says in this collection of 1 novel and 3 stories. So I'm not sure if there's like connection between the different stories or how you can fit a novel and 3 short stories in here. I'm a little confused, but this looks really good. I don't know much more about it than that. I just know that people have been loving it and it's blurred by people that I love. And I also really enjoy the cover. All right, so that was my one haul. And now into the wrap up section. I'm actually going to just wrap everything up together. So I'll talk about Mad Honey, which I know that you guys have already heard about, and then I will get into the last two books. All right, so this week I was reading 5-star predictions, books that I was hoping would be 5 stars, and I'm very happy to say these books all were good. They were all solid reads. None of them were massive disappointments, very big surprises, etc. But only one rose to the level of being one of my new favorite books. So starting off with Mad Honey, this is a mystery novel about a high school girl that is murdered and her high school boyfriend is framed for it. His name is Asher. So you're following Asher's mother and Lily, who is the girl who is murdered, their stories. A lot of this is like courtroom procedural, but also you get bits of this high school relationship mainly from Lily's point of view. I really loved this. I thought that the writing was excellent. I loved a lot of the issues that were brought up in here, which I'm not going to share because I think that that would be a spoiler. I thought the writing was excellent. I thought this, for being written by 2 different authors, was really seamless, and it didn't feel that way. It felt very cohesive, but it was a little bit long-winded in a few areas, and I wanted a few more twists and turns along the way. Even though this was not supposed to be like a thriller with a capital T, it was supposed to be more of like a mystery of sorts, but it was lacking just a little bit of something for me to give it 5 stars, but highly enjoyed this. Then I finished Raising Hair today. I ended up listening to most of this on audio, and I gave this 4 stars. This is a very cozy book about a woman who raises a hare in her country home during the pandemic due to some circumstances, and it's about her relationship with this animal, making her realize things about her life that maybe she didn't realize before, and also making her realize things about nature and conservation that she didn't really pay as much attention to before. This was quite slow. It truly is about this bunny, this hare, growing up over time. Hares are not bunnies, but growing up over time and their relationship. There's not a whole lot of like twists and turns to this. That's what it is. It was written really beautifully. I really enjoyed what it said about the relationship between humans and animals. I thought that was really beautiful, but I just there wasn't enough going on for this to be more than 4 stars. But if you like kind of a cozy, vibey book and you like books about animals, you'll really enjoy this. There were some scenes of animal cruelty, not from the main protagonist towards the hare, but some other situations. So just prepare yourself if you're going to pick this one up. But 4 stars. All right. Well, if you have deduced that Nesting was a 5-star read, good job, because I really enjoyed this. I flew through this book in an immense way. Like, I could not put it down. I just found it so compelling. I had to know what was going to happen to this mother. I had to know what was going to happen to the father figure, the abusive partner. I cared so deeply about these characters, and it was just so terrifying and propulsive and claustrophobic. I loved it. If there is one tiny little itty bitty thing I would say about it, as not a criticism, but a preference thing, there was a very heavy-handed metaphor in this that kept being brought up over and over and over again. And I don't think it was needed for this story to be good. And that's one of my little pet peeves when people do that, because I'm just like, we don't need you to tell us what this is about. It's fine. It's fine. That's the one little thing, but everything else about it was perfection. It was a 5-star read and I loved it. And thank you to the Women's Prize for putting this on my radar, because if not, I don't think I would have found it. And I don't think a lot of other readers would have found this wonderful book. So overall, this was a very successful reading week of finding, in fact, one new 5-star read in my 5-star predictions video and having nothing less than 4 stars, which means I think I'm pretty good at knowing how I'm going to feel about books, which is a good trait to have, I guess, as a booktuber and as a I read too mucher. But yeah, this was lovely. I really enjoyed it. I hope that you guys also enjoyed the video. If you made it till the end, leave me the bunny emoji for this book, Raising Hair, because I think I've had you guys leave me many bird emojis before and many fish emojis before. We're just like making it through the animal emojis. So leave me one of those if you made it to the end of this video. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys very soon with another video. Bye.